Hello, online crew. Let's chat a bit today about the order of things that you should do online to be successful. And I'm raising this today because I've spoken to a number of people lately that are doing some great things online, but they're just focusing on things in the wrong order. So I think this is really important to talk about, especially if you are newer to social media, building your business online, and you don't have a very big following. This is extremely important for you because if you get things kind of out of order, you could be spending a lot of time creating content and doing things online. But if you haven't got the foundation of things worked out, you're kind of wasting your time. And, if any of you know me well, you know that there's some things that I really don't like in life, and that's wasting time and money. How about you? Like, do you like wasting time and money? They're the two biggest things that I don't like wasting. And I see a lot of people wasting a lot of time on social media because they're concentrating on the wrong things at the wrong time. And when we come on social media, like, it's overwhelming. Would you not agree? Like, there's so much to learn and there's so many different directions that you can go in. And there's lots of people that you probably follow, and this person's saying this and this person's saying that. So now you're over on this tangent. Now you're doing that, and you're doing reels and you're doing stories and you're doing posts and you're on TikTok and you're on Instagram and you're doing all the things. So you're really busy doing a lot of things, and you're still not getting engagement or any leads or any traction or any sales. So why is that? Okay, so let's have a chat about that. Please say hello if you're watching live. Hello, Debbie. Thank you. Thank you regarding the blue. When I'm live, just to let you guys know, I can't see any comments from my group. I can only see comments from my business page. So if you're commenting on and you're watching from my group, I can't actually see your comments until after the live, just to let you know. Same here. Time management is my passion. So many distractions, keeping the main thing. That's right. And it can be massively overwhelming, Sarah. You're quite right. There is so many different directions that you could go in. But I work with people closely in my VIP program and my coaching community, and I look at their content, and it's like, okay, and they ask me questions, and it's like, why are you asking me questions about that when you haven't even got that sorted yet? Okay. So this comes back to the principle of what I teach and have done for years. So I really want you to listen to this and think about this with where you're at with your business. So my strategy that's always worked for me and that I teach people that are building online is called the ABC of social selling success. Now, the ABC obviously means the beginning stages of building online. So A is for attract, B is for build, and C is to convert. And it needs to be done in that order. You can't convert to sales if you're not attracting anybody to you. And there's no use building a brand and building influence if you've got nobody there, or the people that are there are not buying from you, but you're not growing your audience in any way. Like, you might just be on Facebook, you're talking to the same family and friends that you've spoken to for the last year or 2 years, and you're not really growing your audience. Therefore, you're putting all this effort into content. You're learning how to do reels. You're showing up and doing stories, but you're talking to exactly the same people that were there a year ago that weren't buying from you back then. So it needs to be done in that order. So have a think about that. Which stage are you at? Attracting more people to you, building the brand and the influence over those people, or you've got all of that and now you're concentrating more on the convert. So I find that there's a lot of people that are really, doubling down on content and all the rest of it. And then I have a look at their socials and it's like, you've only got a few hundred people on Facebook, and you've only got 100 people on Instagram, and you've got 20 people on TikTok if you're over there. Like, firstly, if you're at the beginning stages with a really low audience, perhaps shouldn't be on all the platforms. Let's do 1 or 2 things really well than trying to be everywhere and not doing anything really well. So have a think about that. But firstly, You have to attract new people to you all the time. And that needs to be your initial focus. So if you're somebody that only has like a few hundred people or, under 1,000 people on Facebook, I would be if that was me, I would be concentrating on the attract phase more than the build phase and the convert phase. Like you need many more eyeballs. So where are you at in your journey? If you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok and you've only got, a few followers there, under 100 followers or a few hundred followers there, but you're putting all this effort into learning how to do videos and video editing and captions and hooks and all the rest of it, you're focusing on the wrong things. Does that make sense? So attract first. And once you've attracted people to you, then you build your brand and your influence over those people, because there's no use attracting 100,000 people and having no influence over them. Like you've got no brand, you've got no influence. You're a bit funny, you're doing a bit of this, you're doing a bit of that, you've got 100,000 followers, but you're never making any sales because you're not building a brand. You don't have any influence over those people. So the branding component, some of you need to work on. Maybe you've got an okay audience. Maybe you've got a reasonable audience on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. So you need to hone in on building the influence over those people and building your brand. So what is your brand? Who do you help and what do you help them with? That is the two questions that people are asking when they show up and you pop up on their social media, and it's like, who is this person? And what are they doing? They want to know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. Okay? So is that crystal clear? If I looked at your socials, could I tell instantly who you help and what problems you solve for those people? Yes or no? If that's a no, then you need to fix that and you need more content around that. And you probably need to revise your branding message. If you are vague in any way, like if it's something like, I help people feel better naturally, what the hell does that mean? That doesn't help me know how you can help me at all. Or I help people lose weight naturally, eating real foods, and, don't need to be a slave to the gym. It still doesn't really help me understand how you can help me lose weight. Maybe you're in skincare or something like that. I help you look younger. Well, how do you help me look younger? Like what's the content that you're sharing around that? What's your primary promise? What's your claim to fame, and how are you standing out versus everybody else that's doing the same thing? So part of my brand is the ABC of social selling success business-wise. So, this is part of what I teach. That's part of my brand. So people know when they follow me that what I'm kind of teaching, the principles. And if you followed me for any length of time, you would know that my motto, like what I stand behind, is being a human before a marketer to my core. Being a human before a marketer. I can't stand spammy stuff on social media. So people that follow me know that I'm not going to teach them spammy strategies that are going to, send messages to people or, hey, I think you'd be really good in my business. You should have a look at it. We're not doing that here. So there are things that if you follow me, you know that I teach, and I also practice what I teach. Like I've been the number one enroller in my company since last November, apart from May when I fell to number 2 because I had 2 weeks in hospital. So I know what I teach works and I stick by that and I practice what I preach. So you kind of know if you follow me what you're going to get from me. So if I'm following your socials, and if you're on my TikTok and Instagram and you're following my product stuff, because I'm in a health-based company, network marketing company, and I talk about menopause and belly fat and weight gain and all those things. Like if you go to my Instagram and TikTok on those things, you'll know exactly who I help and what I talk about and the problems that I solve. So I'm very specific about the things. So are you achieving that? So it's good to get eyeballs, but do you have any influence over those eyeballs? So I was like, oh yeah, they're really good at talking about XYZ. What's your XYZ? And are you showing up consistently and confidently talking about that all the time? Okay. Then the last step is once you've got the eyeballs and you've got the influence over the eyeballs, now we want the leads and we want to convert to a sale. Okay. So I see a lot of people that still don't have the audience. They're concentrating on sales skills. It's like, why are you concentrating on converting the sale when you don't even have eyeballs yet? So think about this for those of you on Facebook. Are you still talking to the same people that you were talking to a year ago? Have you increased your following on Facebook at all over the last 6 months to a year? If you haven't, you need to actively work on that first. Because if you want to build online, like you can build offline, go for it. But if you want to build online, you need more eyeballs. Trust me, I know how many eyeballs it takes to get leads, to get links out there, to get sales. And it's a lot. On average, about 1 in 20 might buy something from you. I actually think it's more than that. So think of how many conversations you need to be having online to get the sale when it's 1 in 20 that might buy something from you that even shows, a bit of an interest. So you need to have a lot of people following you. Okay, so how's that working for you at the moment? So I come back to like the order of things, A, B, C of social selling success: attract, build, convert. Some of you need to back it up a little bit and go back to A and attract more people to you. So how do you do that? So that comes down to your content. Depending on what platform you're on, that's going to look different. So if you're on Instagram or you're on TikTok, you might have a certain brand and you keep all your content relatable to that brand. If you're on Facebook, you're probably going to have a little bit more diversity. So you might have some personal stuff, some business stuff, some product stuff. I talk about content buckets. What are your main content buckets? And it's going to be a variety of content. Like on my Facebook, I'll have personal stuff, I'll have family stuff, I'll have empowering stuff, I'll have inspirational stuff, I'll have product stuff, I'll have business stuff. Like I've got a little bit of everything. But on my, business page here that I'm live on, in my social media group that I'm live on, Instagram at the moment, I'm live on. This is all business. This is all social media training. And I don't really divert from that. Okay. On my Instagram and my TikTok that I deal with menopause and weight loss and all that, and that's product focus, I don't deviate from that content. So it depends where you are and what platform you're on as to what content you're going to put up there. But whatever platforms you're on, you always need to be working towards more eyeballs. Now, if you struggle with that a little bit, this is where short form video is something that should be a focus for you if you need to attract more people to you, because that type of content goes to non-followers. So when you post a post on Facebook, let's say you do a written post, that post will only go to a small percentage of the people that are already there. So you're only talking to the people that are already there. When you do short form video, so Reels or TikTok, that goes way outside the people that are already following you. So your best opportunity to build a following and to get new eyeballs is with short form video. Okay. I basically build my entire business off Instagram and TikTok, not Facebook. I do get sales from Facebook, don't get me wrong, but it's not the platform I concentrate on. If you know anything about my journey lately, I've got a lot less content on Facebook, a lot less posts. I'm hardly in my stories at the moment. I'm just struggling a little bit with my health journey. So I'm showing up a little bit less on Facebook, but that doesn't worry me one iota because I don't build my business on Facebook mainly. I build it on Instagram and TikTok because it's laser focused. It's my target market. I know exactly who I'm talking to. I know exactly what solutions I provide for them. And I show up there all the time. And that's what gets me sales. Okay. But I work a lot on, because I get a lot of eyeballs and I get a lot of leads. Where I focus on is the converting to the sale, offering incentives and things like that to get the sale. And just side note, those of you in my coaching community, I just finished a very detailed training for you guys, half an hour or so ago, regarding the do's and don'ts of what to do when your company releases promos and specials. Really important. because a lot of you are doing it wrong when your company brings out a special or a promo. You make it all about the promo and all about the special, and you just look like a salesperson. And you can actually do a lot of damage when you go too hard on a company promo and you don't show up the rest of the time. And you make it all about the promo and you don't make it about the benefits of what you're sharing. Nobody cares about a promo unless the thing that you're talking about solves a problem for you. So talk about the problem that you solve. Don't lead with the promo, lead with the problem that you solve. All of that kind of stuff. And I had detailed notes. That's also in the Coaching Community Facebook group. So yeah, Coaching Community members, go and catch the replay and the notes of that training on that. So where do you think you sit? Do you need to attract more people to you and like sit in there for a while? Or have you got a reasonable following on different platforms and you know you need to build your brand and your influence? So you need to show up a little bit more and give more value. You need to stop talking about what you sell and absolutely, like, provide some education, provide some value. The more valuable you become, the more money you will make. So there's a question for you. How valuable am I on social media? What am I bringing to the table without asking for anything? Am I likable? Am I funny? Am I entertaining? Am I inspiring? And I am empowering? Like, what are you? You could bring a little bit of all of that or some of that. But these are the questions that you need to ask yourself. How are you attracting people to you? You can't just post and then get disappointed that you don't get any engagement or any sales when you're not attracting people to you by the content that you're putting out there, or you're not building a brand and influence over those people by the type of content that you're putting out there. Am I making sense? So how are you attracting people to you? So if you're on Facebook, I would always concentrate on the 5 E's that I talk about. Like, vary your content because people are going to be attracted to different things. So the 5 E's, if you don't know what they are, it's entertaining content, empowering content, educational content, engaging type content because you want to, attract engagement, and emotion type content. Now, by emotion, I don't mean woe is me. I mean emotionally connecting with your audience. When you talk about your story, what you've been through, what, or people that you're helping, like, you tap into people's emotions. People will buy on emotion before they'll ever buy on logic. I was just talking to this in the coaching community training. Why do you go and buy a new outfit when you go to an event? You do that because of the way it makes you feel. It's the way it makes you feel that you go and buy a new outfit to go to somewhere. Everybody buys on emotion, not because of a promo or a 10% off or whatever. They've got to be hooked into the emotion of why it's going to benefit them first. Okay. So where are you? Attract, build, or convert? And do you need to refocus on that? So it may be that you need to attract more people to you first if you've got a lower following. So here's what I recommend you do for the rest of the year. Here's something for you to think about. What I would be doing if I was newer to social media, or maybe you're not new, but you've got a lower following. This is what I would be doing for the rest of the year. July and August, I would be focusing on the attract phase. I would just be letting people get to know me. I would be putting a variety of content out, particularly on Facebook, entertaining, engagement, emotion, all the stuff that I've just mentioned. Letting people get to know me, getting my story out there more, giving educational content on whatever my brand is. I'd be varying my content and I'd be really concentrating and tracking building a following on whatever platform that is. It could be Instagram and TikTok as well. So focus less on how can I get a customer or how can I get a team member, and focus more on how can I attract more people to me? How can I show up differently that's, people are going to like me enough to want to follow me? And if you need to, ask for people in this phase to follow you. Ask for what you want and what you need. So initially, it might be, if you would like more tips like this or you'd like more content like this, make sure you follow me. Ask people to follow you to attract them to you. Okay. So July and August, I would be focusing on attracting more people to me. And then September and October, I would be building on my brand and my influence. So that's when I'd be concentrating more on the hooks and the type of content and the reels and, creating really good educational content and valuable content so I can build my influence over these new people that I've attracted to me. And then November and December, I'd be concentrating on the convert. So, okay, I've attracted new people to me. I'm building influence over those people with the amazing content that I'm putting out there. And then, Black Friday comes along and Christmas comes along and you've got specials to work with your company. Now you're working on your conversion skills, which is conversation skills and converting from a lead to a sale, because there's plenty of people out there, they've got lots of leads, but they're not making any sales because they've got no idea how to nurture a lead. They're going too quickly into the sale and they're not nurturing the process and making the person feel seen and heard and helping them come to their own conclusion that they want what you have. That's a skill that you need to learn, convert. That doesn't come naturally for most people. Most people are going too quickly to sending them a link and then they're wondering why they don't buy. It's just because it's a transaction. You need to concentrate on the transformation of what it is that you sell, not the transaction. Okay, but that's all a skill. Every one of those is a skill. Do you get that? So the attract phase, the build phase, the convert phase. So I would just encourage you, if you can take anything from this discussion, where are you in those phases of the ABC of social selling success? And if you need to, back it up. And August and September, focus on August and September. July and August, focus on attracting more people to you and build and track your numbers. Look at your numbers. Don't get obsessive, but every 7 days, like if daily you're watching it, that could do your head in. But track it every week. Did I grow my following this week? No, I actually went backwards. I lost people. What have I done? What do I need to do? Track it and monitor it and you always need more eyeballs if you're going to be successful online. It's got to come first. The attract phase has to come first. Okay. And then you build your brand and your influence over those people that you've attracted to them. And then you learn how to convert. You learn how to get the lead. You learn how to nurture the lead. You learn how to convert to the actual sale. That's the process that you want to follow. Okay. So I hope this is useful for some of you to kind of really evaluate where you're at online, what it takes to be successful online and where you need to sit, and have a think about what I suggested to you for the rest of the months of the year. Maybe you could implement that strategy for you in your business to attract more people to you, then build your influence and then convert so you can make more sales at the end of the year, particularly when Black Friday comes around and Christmas. Okay. Let me know if this is helpful, just to kind of see, where you're at and evaluating that for yourself, because what you don't want to do online is sit in the wrong phase at the wrong time. Because you could be sitting in phase, 2 or 3, build and convert, but you don't have enough eyeballs, or you don't have any new eyeballs, because the eyeballs that you've got already, they're not buying from you. They're not engaging with you, but you're creating all this amazing content, but for the same eyeballs. So you need to grow past that. So maybe some of you need to go back to the attract phase. Okay. Super, super, super important. And again, I share this with you because I'm seeing this over and over and over again when I look at people's content. It's like, wow, you're spending so much energy on that, but you don't even have that yet. Okay. I hope that's helpful. Let me know if that's helpful. And I will see you guys. This is my last live video for the week. So I will see you guys next week with more training to help you build your business online. And remember, always be a human before a marketer. Bye.